Peace and blessings, everyone. How are you doing? I hope all is well. I hope you all been having a great weekend so far. I want to come on and I want to talk about some of the current events that's going on astrologically, because I said I was going to do a podcast on it, which I believe I still will, but I'm going to kind of touch up on it. We have, first and foremost, we have Mars opposing Pluto, making opposition to Pluto, right? And so we have Mars, mind you, we have Mars in Cancer making opposition to Pluto, which is retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto's retrograde. It's about, I'm going to just talk about collectively. I'm not going to talk about personal people's lives. That's going to be a whole nother podcast maybe, or reading. But I'm going to talk about collectively here what's going on, because it's a profound moment. Actually, it's a profound time we're living in. Pluto's retrograde in Capricorn, and we have Mars in Cancer opposing that. Now when you think about that, because I remember I talked about, the first thing I did stated that I was like, what was lost or stolen was going to be taken back, right? What was once lost, stolen, and taken was going to be, it's going to be taken back. And I remember I stated also in the past that, well, basically I stated in the past too that there was gonna be also, because we had the eclipse just happen in Sagittarius. That's where the South Node is. So with that being said, that's pretty much where, when you have the South Node in Sagittarius, it's not the North Node. This about freedom. The Sagittarius represents freedom. It can be, freedom can mean anything. Freedom of speech, anything of that nature. And as it relates to the United States, for example, or the different homelands, and where they were founded off of, it more so like their people freedoms are being restricted. They're not being. It's like it's not being free from. It's being restricted. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's being restricted because you have Saturn transiting Aquarius. That's about change. I feel it's going to cause, because when you have Mars opposition Pluto, when I first seen that transit, and I said, I seen people talking about it. I haven't been keeping up with it like that in the past couple weeks, and I'm like, oh goodness. I said, man, I said, that's not good. Good with Mars opposing Pluto. Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto retrograde. Mind you, this is retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto retrograde is about forced transformation internally. When you look at it in the collective, and you look at Cancer, Cancer represents the homeland. Cancer even represents race. And when you look at that, and when it's opposing, and it's in Capricorn. Pluto's in Capricorn, is retrograde, is forced transformation. These are old structures and foundations coming down. That was what Capricorn represents. Capricorn represents the patriarchy. It's like it's forced transformation and how things were founded. And when you look at it, Capricorn, this country was founded by men. Not only was founded by men, but it was also founded on more so like, because I say this society, it was founded like on patriarchal principles and stuff, I'm guessing. Well, that's what people adopted. I guess that's the correct words I can find it, but you all know where I'm coming from. But what's going to take place here is there's gonna be, and another thing I'm gonna touch up on too in this time while I'm on this video, is with these distinctions. I'm going to tell you what distinctions I'm talking about, because see, Saturn and with Saturn moving to Pisces, those people who still carrying on these distinctions, they're going to go on a massive journey with Saturn, and they're going to be humble after the journey. It's going to be positive. They're going to be humble after the journey. Anywho, so what I'm saying here is that Pluto is going to go, okay, we got Mars opposing Pluto. We just had the eclipses. The eclipses was activated. I mean, that this transit in particular, they got Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is about values. Taurus is about willpower. Venus rules Taurus. That's our day-to-day life. Taurus even rules comfort zone. But when you, and it rules the throat chakra. It rules the throat chakra. And when you look at that there, because I'm going to tell you where the energies are going. And then when you got squaring, because Uranus is there, that's uncomfortable with Taurus. The fixed signs don't like, it's like they want change, but they don't want to give something up for change to happen, make any sacrifices for change to happen. And Taurus is also about becoming attached to the practical reality of things, the practical side of things. So, and you got Uranus, that's change, abrupt change, awakenings. Saturn definitely represents awakenings, and it's in Aquarius. It's about the conscious, battling between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, you know. So when you really look at this, and then you're going to have the total solar eclipse of Gemini, that's about transcendence, but that's about your community, your surroundings, your environment, your immediate environment. So when you really look at that, and when you put that together, because the squares are challenge, when you put all this together, you talking about, this is more so, because I remember I did state it with Saturn, when Saturn was conjoining Jupiter. I mean, Saturn was in the, just not so long moving to Aquarius at the time, when it was conjoining Jupiter, which were in Aquarius, and it's going retrograde soon, and we'll go back into Aquarius, is in Pisces now. That in itself, that was about that was showing right there that we had for a regime change. I remember I heard some people, and I'm seeing where it was coming from, that they were saying that, because I know people were looking for Donald Trump to win again. They were looking for Donald Trump to win again, the way he's former President Trump. He did. It's like it wasn't in the cards for him to really make it. When you really look at it, I think it's life path number or something. I think it represents. I think it's number 9. Let me Google it up. Let me check and see. June 1976. Let's see. I think he was a number 9. Let me check and see. No, he was a 4. But it's something about him. It's like, I don't know. I heard people were saying that it meant for him to make it. It wasn't meant for him to make it. Because I heard he was here to basically usher in a change. And it's like Biden were elected to initiate the change, which is a regime change. And so when you look at it, they coming out with these laws now, and they're trying to create, they're trying to take away, they're trying to really restrict when it come down to the Second Amendment, which is gun rights, right, to bear arms. Now when you really look at it and they challenging it, or they trying to restrict and make laws, I believe it's gonna take the cake, to be honest. If you really ask me, I believe laws like this and more laws is coming. I believe it's gonna take the cake, to be honest. And I remember I did stated the government is going through its death phase. So, and I said, when Pluto moves to Aquarius, people need to be packed. They need to be strapped, because they need to load up on a lot of stuff. The shortage is already happening. They need to load up on a lot of stuff. They need to load up on guns as well. A lot of stuff, because I feel people probably going to be starting to leave this country, because I feel it's going to get worse. It headed for the worst. People think it's headed for the better. Think it's taking a turn for the better, but really it's taking a turn for the worse with this regime change. And with this regime change happening like this, because there's going to be, because with this Aquarius energy, it's about boundaries, or being boundaryless, becoming boundaryless. And then when you head in with this Pisces energy that's coming up, it's about unity. That's about love, compassion. That's being understanding. It's being restored. And what's taking place now is that there's going to be unity. It may happen while we're here, or it may happen some generations down the line. Probably when some of us that are living now are gone. But there's going to be there's going to be a fall. This government is going to fall. I remember I stated I stated to people 3 years ago. I said the exact same trends start happening now, where the exact same trends is happening. I was telling the old business partner that. I said the exact same trends start happening now, where the exact same trends that happened back in 1776. Which it is, because at the time Mars was opposing Pluto. Mars was in Cancer and opposing Pluto 26 degrees. They both about to activate at 26 degrees. That's going to trigger a lot of things to take place down the line. It may not feel the advanced effects of it right now, but it's going to take place down the line. It's coming. It practically, slowly but surely, these old structures and foundations coming down. Because I was like, why would we need a government? Why would we need to place our power in the hands of other people for them to be telling us what to do and what to do? I understand we need structure and things of that nature, but I'm just saying, when you really think about it, you got some people out here that's anti-government. If you really look at it, a lot of these governments are going through a death phase right now, or they will be. It's a lot that's going to take place. It's not just with the United States, it's in more places. It's going to happen down the line. It's going to take place. I will say it's like pretty much the last actual president would be, the president that we just elected. I won't just say the actual last president. What I mean by that is that in terms of like, I'm saying like playing a role into like where it's happening. And then, the people that we now elected in, or we did elected in, I'm talking about this country, particularly the U.S., it's kind of helped generating this. And as stated with that eclipse that happened in Sagittarius, that on the South Node, that's about freedom. That's about freedom bit, that more restrictions. Don't get me wrong, they might try to bring on like martial law and activate martial law and have little camps and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised that come up down the line. But as I stated, this got to happen. This got to happen. It's forcing us to take back what was ours. And so I feel we headed toward a civil war in the future. I feel we heading toward a civil war in the future. And there's karma. Remember I did state that there's karma coming back on the patriarchy. There's karma that's been that the patriarchy is karmically being hit. They got karmic debt that's due. When Saturn was in Capricorn, this the patriarchy. The karmic debt is due. It's getting worse, because when we had the eclipse that happened in Sagittarius back here about a week ago, I think about a week ago, if I'm correct, or a couple weeks ago, that eclipse that happened in Sagittarius, it was moving into the stinger of the Scorpius, the star Scorpius, the fixed star Scorpius, and then the fixed star Agaro, if I pronounce it correctly. That's about death, thievery, deceit, merciless, plagues, vengefulness. That's what it represents. It's more if you go down the line. But when you really look at, that's what we're moving past the eclipse that day. That's what was happening at. That's what we're moving past. When you really look at that, that's pretty. And I told people out there, people always, I be hearing a lot of astrologers say this. If they want to, if they want to collaborate, and if they want to collab on this, and then try to debate me down about it, when you really look at it, they can hit me up my email at rodpleasure22@gmail.com. They'll talk about that the fixed stars and the asteroids doesn't matter, but yes they do. Yes they do, because they make those fixed stars and asteroids make aspects to the planets that are traveling along the ecliptic plane. Those planetary energies, the fixed stars, the asteroids, they even help dictate and affect what goes on in our day-to-day life. So when you really look at that, the times that we're headed for, and mind you, when it come down to at Pluto is in the 12th house. Pluto is setting up in the 12th house on the United States Pluto return. It's setting up in the 12th house. That's endings. That's death. A death in the 12th house, that's endings. Because the 12th house is about releasing. Things coming out. Things releasing. Conflict. With Pluto in the 12th house, it's kind of like Mars in the 12th house. It's kind of like Mars in the 12th house. Conflict. It can be kind of hard to control. That's what's getting ready to take place. It was a sign of that happening back here on January the 6th. I'm not condoning what happened, but it was a sign of, it was kind of like a sign then. So with that being said, we're heading for what's gonna be end up eventually being, it's not gonna just be in the United States, it's gonna be across the world. A lawless society. I've been hearing about they were trying to overthrow the government in Israel. I mean, or over in Israel, Palestine, wherever it is. So we're heading towards the end. Or they trying to overthrow that president, whoever, prime minister, whoever he is over there. But we're heading toward, but it's all these governments are falling down. I'm happy, to be honest. I'm happy about it. Don't get me wrong. The government help provide things like clean water and stuff like that. but a lot of things are falling down now. When Saturn moved into Capricorn, it was like a decline that's happening, because Capricorn represents fall or downfall and latching on a thing. But this time it's latching to things. It was like a decline started, and the decline is constantly getting worse, especially after what the eclipse just happened, and the fixed stars that were aspecting it. And then the transit that just activated it, which is Mars and Pluto. It's like more decline is happening. And I told you, I say it's karma coming back on the patriarchy for the disrespect toward the feminine energies, and towards the matriarch, the feminine energies, and also towards the ancestors. The feminine energy is, people tend to relate it to females, but really the feminine energy relates to our shadow. What's been held in collectively is what's coming up, and what's getting ready to come up, what's getting ready to come out, coming to balance with that feminine energy being restored. Feminine energy represents the soul as well, but feminine energy represents wisdom. Meanwhile, the masculine energy represents the thought process. And people who carrying on these distinctions, talking about some alpha males and beta males and this and that and the third. When Saturn goes to Pisces, these people gonna be taken by Saturn. They're gonna be taken by Saturn. Because when Saturn moves to Pisces, Saturn going to teach people about compassion, understanding, and unconditional love towards the self prior to others. So these people who carrying on these distinctions are not in touch with their sense of self. These people here, and who are quote unquote high maintenance, or whatever the case is, these, especially men who carrying on the alpha male and beta males too. I'm gonna touch on that too. I've been seeing a lot of that lately. Carrying on these, and Pisces represents illusions and delusions. It represents illusions. Because I look at it, it's a whole illusion with that alpha male and beta male distinction here. Those men who carrying it on, they're going to be punks after Saturn get finished with them. Because Saturn going to humble them, but in a very profound, positive way. Saturn is going to humble them. So you men that's carrying on that energy, carry it on. Because when Saturn moving to Pisces in the next 2 years now, they're going to be taken by that energy. And the females help promote this too. Yeah, you all will be taken by these energies. Saturn is going to take you on a very profound journey, whereas you're going to be punks afterwards. Saturn is going to punk you out, whereas it's going to cause you, because we got Chiron in Aries. Chiron in Aries is about redefining masculinity. Redefining your masculine energy, what masculinity means to you. Because I did say the feminine energy is being restored. So these people who carrying on these distinctions, they're gonna be taken by those energies. And Saturn's going to take them on a very, very profound journey. It's going to cause them to redefine what masculinity means to them. And it's going to help them get in touch more with their feminine side, get in touch with their feminine side as well. And help them to come into balance and embrace their individuality. It's going to help bring them closer to who they are as time goes along. Saturn going to whip their ass into unity. Is what's going to take place here, because that's what Pisces represents. Because they're gonna It's like they will unify with their own, with their energies, their individuality, who they are, truly are as a person, especially what they've been suppressing. So Saturn's going to take them. So Saturn is going to take them. Saturn is taking people with them. Yeah, I promise you, when these people leave out, they're gonna be humble. They're gonna be some punks afterwards, especially them quote unquote alpha males. They're gonna be some punks afterwards. Who is so called dominant, needing work to do. I mean, call themselves dominant or whatever the case is. However they portray whatever is alpha males and masculine or whatever, all that's falling down to, and they will be taken through a very profound transformation. One they would never, ever, ever forget. And if y'all want to debate me about it, you alpha males, y'all can hit me up. You are welcome to hit me up, or beta males, quote unquote, whoever. You all can hit me up in my email, robpleasure22@gmail.com. I got all the time, but it's gonna happen. It's going to take place. Because just to show the patriarchy is gonna fall. All of that where it's connected to it is gonna fall with it, or whatever change is undergoing. Everything else is gonna fall right along with it. The way of teachings, whatever the case is. Because with this energy going into Pisces soon, that's about unconditional love, compassion, understanding unconditional love towards itself first prior to others. But it will also be restored, collectively in society as well. Even love will be restored collectively, practically, but collectively in society as well, which is going to bring people together. Because these people who already know the solution, and people who are empowered, that we keep putting in power, that have a solution to resolve a lot of this stuff in terms of homelessness and stuff, and they know it's like now Saturn is coming in, and Saturn is fixing that, and those people gonna fall. And I remember I done a read back here about a month and a half ago, or a month ago, talk about fall of the hangman, and it's starting to take place, including with the government structures or this beast type system. It is falling. What we're appeasing and things of that nature is falling. They're working at cross purposes. It's falling. And when you look at a decline, I will say we have a dead ass economy. And those of you who are against cursing, you may need to click off. But we have a dead ass economy when you really think about it. A dead ass economy. Because what's going to keep it going? We got a decline on a lot of shit. We got a shortage. What they'll prosper off of. So it's a lot of things that's getting ready to take place. If you really look at a lot of stuff is taking place. It's pretty much in society as we know it, and it's wrapping up this 6,000 year cycle that we were under the whole time for the past 6,000 years. I'm gonna say between now and on up until 2030, and if not a little past there, there's gonna be some profound changes gonna take place, and even furthermore on past there. Especially with the transits we got that's going to take place. It's what it is here. But on that note, But this is what I wanted to come on to say. Peace and blessings. And I hope you all have a great weekend.